PizzaFellas Podcast right here, the hottest in the world.
It's a PizzaFellas Podcast. Turn your speakers up, we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass, light a cigar, come on, let's make it last. Pizza Talk with Sal and Joe, Oliver, Antonio. Pizza stories, they gon' tell us. Let's have some fun with the PizzaFellas.
PizzaFellas Podcast right here, the hottest in the world. Fire!
Fire!
Hey, what's up, guys? PizzaFellas Podcast, episode 73. Remember, go on social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, subscribe, hit that like button, interact with us on all our different reels that came out from Vegas recently and the new episodes that came out. We had Sid the Cigar Guy on, and then 2 episodes ago, episode 71, if you want to get into it, Lucas Heckenberger, the bar manager from Melee Taverna.
It was awesome.
That's a very good episode to
awesome.
watch. A lot of information. We drank for 2.5 hours. And it was a great fucking podcast. But definitely, if you want to get involved, if you want to, talk, maybe get a guest on, direct message us on Instagram, and me and Antonio will reach out to you, and we'll try to set something up if you got something interesting.
Also,
go ahead.
just a little bit of housekeeping, but May 12th, which is a Monday, is our Anna Capri food show at the Liberty House in Jersey City.
Oh, we'll be filming from there.
Correcto. That's a Monday, June 12th,
Oliver, you going?
from 10 to 3.
Bruno, you going?
Bruno's not fucking going.
And you get all the beers you can drink.
Brian's has to go.
Free beer.
Listen.
And there's a casino.
It's a
You're going?
17-hour shit
There is.
show.
Tyler, you're going?
You literally, and
We started 8 in the morning. They we got home like 2 in the morning.
we got to call, what's it called? Dino and Harry's to get the reservation.
Yeah,
at
we'll
5
do that
o'clock.
Tuesday.
And then we stop at the Clinton Diner and clean them out.
And then recruit. We got to
Are
go
you
to
going?
Havana.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going to go?
Well, that's the first time I hear it, so Lorenzo is slacking off.
Lorenzo's a fucking donkey.
So now that you
But-
told me, I'm going.
Good.
That's funny.
So tonight's guest, I know Joe for a few years, if not a little bit more, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And he bought his wife Joanne. So it's
Hello, Joanne. Hello, Joe.
So it's Tomasino's restaurant. It's 54 Dallas Shopping Center. Now it's not Dallas fucking Texas, you fucking bananas out there. It's Dallas, Pennsylvania. It's on Route 309. So Dallas is a little bit right below Wilkes-Barre.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
It's been there 20 years. It's mytomasinos.com. It's mytomasinos.com. So
Well, real quick before we get into Joe, I have to tell a quick story. I was recruiting college football, and I remember they told me you got to go to Dallas High School, and I said lived here my whole life, played football here, played a lot of teams in the area, PA. I was like, Dallas, PA, where the hell? I go up, there's like a 6'5" farm white boy that's a tight end. They're like, get him. I was like, okay, now I can see where I'm at here. But it's just a funny story because at first I was like, where the hell am I going?
I tell you what, it's a quaint little town.
Oh, yeah.
It's
nice.
a rich town.
It's a beautiful town. Very, very
And the
rich.
high
Right.
school's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the facilities, the schools,
They built it up the last 20 years.
No, it's
They
very
did.
nice there.
very, very nice.
And they
Now-
got good pizza up there.
Yeah, we do actually.
You
It's
got
a
good
mix.
pizza.
Yeah, we got
A
some
lot of places that have been there a very long
very
time.
long time. Yeah.
A lot of history.
So tell us, how did this all start with you? Where are you from? Where did you come from?
How'd you start? in the
How'd you
pizza
start?
business? How'd you grow up? Where were you
Where
born?
are you from?
Let's do the whole thing,
Sure,
Joe.
definitely. We have quite a few hours. So I'm from Carini.
Oh,
in Sicily.
Carini.
Oh, you are Carinese.
Yeah, I'm
Carinese.
Carinese, too.
Oh, see?
And if all the Carinese went baback, there would be no Carini.
No Carini at all.
We'd be in the ocean.
I think so. So I came here. I was 11 years old. My father actually was here 5 years prior.
Okay.
And,
What year did you come, Joe?
87.
Okay.
87. So
At 5 years old.
11 years old. I was.
11 years? Okay.
11 years old. My father came in 82. So we started in Delaware, actually. He was working for his cousin as a pizza baker.
Where in Delaware?
Wilmington.
Oh,
no
yeah.
kidding.
Nice town.
It's called Vito's Pizza, I believe it was.
It's still there?
I'm not sure. It's been a long time.
Now, at that time in the 80s, was there a lot of pizza shops in Delaware?
I don't know about
Actually,
that, Sal.
no, there wasn't.
Right? Yeah, because you don't think of Delaware pizza. You don't think of pizza.
There were some good spots, but it's like every 10 miles, whatever.
I got you.
You know who was
If- if I
a
could-
big guy down there? Cafe Barrera.
Yes, but
Cafe
I have
Barrera.
to interject something. So in 82, even probably maybe 86, okay, you could sponsor people. 90 days. That's how my father did it for many people.
My father actually sponsored 3 people, actually, when he had his own restaurant.
Yeah.
Back
It was a whole different immigration system.
So,
Not
yeah, but-
migrant system.
so-
immigration system, because you're an immigrant.
the right way.
Dad, for the audience that might not know, explain what a sponsorship
So
was at that time.
what would happen in those days is
Basically,
you would basically pay the person to sponsor you. It was, I would say, $3,000 to $5,000.
And it was your responsibility.
And then what would happen is they would come over. We'd put them up in, well, actually, we would put them up at Ringers.
Ringers, the one
we had
bedrooms.
We had
yeah.
the room. My
Yeah.
father, we always had a room at Ringers. And 90 days, and after 90 days, you know what these people did? They bought pizza shops that my father helped them set up.
See that?
They didn't buy it. We helped them. My father used to have the book, a ledger. What was his name? This is what you owe. And guys would show up at 19th Street at Salvatore Rufino's, which was my father's shop in Allentown. And you would see guys come in, $300, $400, and they pay their bill.
Not kidding.
You know, one shop, Morello did. The other shop, we would have Body.
Yeah.
Body. And that's how you did it. You made the phone call. They would bring this stuff up. But all those years, in those 80s, you could sponsor. It was so easy.
Now,
so
after the
clean.
90 days, what happens?
Expires.
No, now they're good.
They got a permanent.
They got a permit.
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
A visa.
And now they're
Okay.
on their way to citizenship.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's
And
just
they
what
can own a
happened. I got
business. They can, they can get a business. They're paying taxes.
Yeah.
And the taxes that they pay, it's not like the immigrants today that came across illegal. These guys are working. They're paying Social Security, workman's compensation.
Yep.
They're paying unemployment, state and federal. And if they get unemployed, not one freaking dime. And the IRS is part of this problem. You know, they have been involved in that for freaking 40, 50 years. They're the most corrupt company in the world.
And not only that, when we came, in 87, 82, they told us, I said, you got to be part of this country. So within 3-4 months, we spoke English.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Sure.
It was a
Oh,
major
yeah, that
deal.
is a big deal.
That's 80 what? 86.
I was in 87. So,
Oh, 87.
I started in 6th grade.
Right.
So, and everybody was phenomenal. No racism. Everybody was trying to help me and everything else. Literally 3 months later, I was
You're
talking
speaking
like-
English.
yeah.
Yes.
Almost.
Everybody was
That's
out to
almost.
help.
So 39 years, 40 years,
Yeah.
right?
40 years.
40 years.
Yep.
And you speak great English.
Yeah, I went to
But you
school.
felt the
This
pressure.
guy, look at this guy to your left. This guy was born here, still doesn't know how to speak English.
Yeah, but that
Hey,
that had
Nick,
to be
how are
tough
you?
to come out here.
It was
Hi,
tough.
Mike.
It was tough because, the school ended. I finished 5th grade. And then in June, my mother says, we're going in America. I'm like, what? I said, I don't want to go in America. No, in Italy.
It was just one of you, right? Or you have a sister too?
I have 2 sisters. 2
sisters.
Yeah.
If I may ask, where was your house in Carini?
In Carini, well, I lived with my grandmother up in Via Genova, which
Okay.
was next to the hospital. Now, our house is in Via Don Lo Sturzo,
Okay.
which is on the way to the beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
How far is that from Villa Galazzi?
Villa Grazia, literally, my house in Via Don Lo Sturzo, maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
You know, when I first went to Sicily, we went to Carini. There was a pizza shop in Villa Grazzi. So we ordered pizza. They wrapped it in paper.
Yes. Yeah.
At the time too.
Yep.
This is in the 80s.
Yep.
They wrapped it in
cookie
paper.
tray, then a little border, and then they wrap it like if there were pastries.
Yeah.
That's what I remember when I
Yeah.
was little.
It was a bocce ball court in the middle there. So I think there was a, what would you call that? It was like a bar, trattoria. No,
Well, they call it bar, rosticceria, focacceria.
Yeah, focacceria.
You know.
That focacceria that would up the mountain, the back of it, my grandfather owned it. That was a house that they had. He
That's
sold
good.
that, and then they had a house up in Carini, and then they had a farm. And I have pictures in my shop at Biagio of me in the fig tree that my father climbed, my uncles climbed, my
you climb it
grandfather,
too?
my great father. I climbed it.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
asking.
I said I have pictures of me climbing the tree.
So I'm wondering if...
Clean your ears right now. Get Q-tips. Gigi, go get Q-tips.
So my father was working for a guy named Giovanni Rufino, which he owned a big warehouse. They actually became his godson. I wonder if he related to him.
I would say probably
Where
in
was
some way.
this? Where was this warehouse?
In Carini.
In Carini.
Well, it was between actually Villa Grazia and Carini and Torretta, which is the
Yeah.
it's around the industrial park.
Wow. That's it.
It's pretty cool, right?
I'm trying to think. Morici. You know Vincenzo Morici?
No.
Philip Morici? No?
Are they here or
No, overseas.
No. Our last names, we have Evolo, Taormina, and Tomasino.
Okay.
So mainly they are from the old town.
Right.
Vincenzo, so when we would go over there, we would stay at Vincenzo's house because Vincenzo worked for my father back in like 68, 69, 70, 71, 72.
Yeah.
Then he went back home. And then my father and him did some business over there. He gave him money, and Vincey, that's how I referred to him.
Yeah.
Vincey was short. His brother Phil was freaking big like me. You know, I don't know what happened there. Something must have got involved. But anyway, he had a nice villa down by the ocean. Yeah. So the Villa Road was here. The highway, am I correct? There's a highway?
Correct, yeah.
And then the beach.
The beach.
There's homes and the beach. Vincent's house, you could see that, and you would go, and oh, my God. They did some, we went up to the mountains for eggplants. Yep. They would bring the guys from South America.
Yep.
They were sleeping on the farms. And I remember we're driving in like a Fiat. And my dad, I said to my dad, I said, Daddy, I says, I'm thirsty. So he says in Italian to Vincenzo and Philippe, and Philip's like this in the car. Vince's driving. He goes, I guess he said to him in Italian, he goes, up around the bend. So he parks the car. And these roads, you know when you go up there where the eggplants, those are small fucking roads.
The back, the mountains and literally,
You're going to fly off the side of the mountain.
Anything bigger than a Fiat, it doesn't fit. It does not fit.
We park the car, we walk, all of a sudden out of the side of the mountain, water. Yep. Put your hands, start drinking. Some of the greatest, actually, you know what gets me close to that? You know, what's it called? Fiji? F-I-U-G-G-I?
What, the water?
Fiji water, yeah.
Fiji water.
That's Fuji, yeah. That's the closest it gets to that taste. In my personal opinion, I mean.
Believe it or not, that water actually used to feed the fountain.
The fountain in Carini.
In Carini.
Yeah, where you would go and you fill up your gallons.
Yeah,
yes.
right from the mountains.
Right from there.
You know.
We would go up there.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
I spent me and my father, my mother, my sister. My mother and my sister was there, I want to say 30 days. But me and my father, we went back, and then probably a total of 6 months.
Wow.
I got to enjoy in Sicily. It was like Ustica.
Ustica, the island. It's beautiful.
And
I've never been.
And you swim in the grottos. Yeah. I was like, I couldn't believe you're jumping in the water, and it's not salt. Yeah. Your eyes are open. You're swimming. And my father had what did he get? He got scarlet fever when he was young. So his hair, he would do a comb over. But when he would go in water, a piece would come down like this. And we're diving off a rowboat. And the guys picking up, diving off in the grottos. Oh, Sicily's so beautiful.
Well, did you ever went fishing for rizze, the urchins, or no?
Oh, sea urchins? I didn't
urchins,
fish, but I love sea urchin. Antonio, what do you know when we go places and that's on the menu?
That's the first
he
thing
right away says to me, he goes, I know what Joe's eating. And then I come up sea urchin. Oh, I love sea urchins.
A lot of good seafood down there.
Delicious
seafood.
Well, we used to go, when we were there, you would wake up in the morning, go down to the beach. There was these big cement. They were, in my opinion, what I recall were they were like 2 feet high.
Okay.
But they were very big. They were like probably, I would say from here to that wall to the garage doors. And fishermen come in, drop their seafood. And that's when American dollars were powerful. $20, we're bringing octopus.
Yep.
You know? You're bringing that. You got this, you got that. Go back, and then 2 o'clock, it's all cooked. You sit, you nap.
and you just buy enough for that day.
Yeah.
If you want more next day, you go, the next day.
Now, Joanne, you're not from Carini as well, are you?
No, my family is from Mola di Bari.
Oh, you're Barese. Mola di Bari. That's where
My
our
mother's Barese.
Really?
They're from, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, holy
this
shit.
out.
that's where Pietro's from, and Angelo.
Yeah. My dad and them were best friends. Yeah.
So you grew up in the valley then?
I grew up here.
Okay.
Yeah. Born and raised in Nanticoke, and I didn't move to Dallas till a few years ago.
Gotcha. And your dad had pizza shops as well? Mm-hmm. Who was your dad?
Giuseppe Pignataro.
Of course. Of course.
Were you working at Roma Foods?
Yeah. That's right.
Giuseppe who?
her dad passed away. When her dad passed away, let me get to the mic.
Yeah.
When her dad passed away, that was, what year was that?
2002.
2002. I was working in another, I was at Roma, but I was somewhere else. I wasn't in that valley. But when Joe Pignatato passed away, they asked me to go to the valley and service them. So God bless him. He was a good man. I worked with him. So he was a very, very good man. Very, very good man.
Thank you.
So let's get back because we had a conversation on top of the whole story of you.
So you get back here 87.
So 87.
You got school starting.
Yeah.
And where did you start? What city?
School was Glassboro.
Glassboro, New Jersey?
So that's where you lived. Okay.
So, yeah, we were in, my father was in Delaware and during the summer.
Yeah.
And then his
South Jersey's right
cousin
there.
Ended up going to Glassboro and opening a place over there. So my father became a chef there.
Okay.
So, and that's where I started going to school.
Oh, all right. So you went to Glassboro.
So I went to Glassboro.
How long
which
were
I
you guys
loved. We were there for Glassboro about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And then we moved to a place called Penns Grove, which it's completely right on the border of Delaware, where the twin bridges are.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, I
And
know
that's
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And that's where my father opened his first place. He opened a Portofino restaurant.
Portofino restaurant.
Portofino restaurant. We were there for about 12, 13 years, yeah.
What years were that, if I may?
What years?
Yeah.
I would say between 91 and
2003?
2002, 2003, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, during that time, is this when you start learning? You start getting your love for the business?
So what happened was, in 87, I came in July, June, July. 2 days later, I told my father, I says, I'm not staying here. I said, can I come with you at work? He says, you don't want to be with us. I said, we're going to be there for 12 hours. I said, I don't care. 11 years old. So I go there, start looking around, I'm like, okay, what they doing? What can I do? So the third day, I start folding boxes.
Yeah.
So
I did it at 5 years old.
and we're not the cardboard boxes, we're the clay boxes.
Clay boxes.
Cardboard boxes were not
Which are harder.
existent. Yeah.
Which are harder.
Clay boxes are hard.
So we used to do 3 bundles like every 3-4 days. My cousin was at a very busy place, so I started with that. And then from that, I'm like, I said, Frank, my father's cousin, I'm like, can I make myself a cheesesteak? I says, I'm going to let the girl do it for you. I said, no, I want to do it. Here I am chopping. I couldn't even reach the grill.
Time out. Look to your left. Lorenzo's in the house.
Oh, Lorenzo's there.
Oh, holy shit. He's in the house.
Told you he'd come through.
Yeah, a little support.
I'm glad you're here, Lorenzo, then. I didn't think you were coming.
It's a pleasure. I promised that I was going to come in. I came in.
Yes, it did.
There you go.
I'm going to get a beating later.
Yeah. I'll call your wife. Don't worry.
Experience the vibrant flavors of Vietnam at Phenomenal, located at 319 South Cedar Crest Boulevard, Allentown, Pennsylvania. From rich, steaming bowls of pho to fresh, flavorful banh mi, every dish is crafted with authentic ingredients and passion. Whether you're dining in or taking out, Phenomenal promises a delicious and unforgettable experience. Stop by today and taste why it's more than just a name. It's truly phenomenal. Anna Capri Foods, serving fine Italian restaurants and pizzerias since 1975. Serving Italian restaurants through the New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania region. Dedicated to quality for over 40 years. Located at 55 Winans Ave, Cranford, New Jersey, 07016. Phone number 908-272-4700. For all your Italian, restaurant, and pizzeria food supplies. Since 1975.
So let's get back to the clay boxes and all that, making a cheesesteak.
Then from the cheesesteak, I started making a little personal pizza, like all the little, sons of, and that's where everything started, and but over there pretty much was prepping and everything else, making the garlic bread and such, and then from there, then my father bought his own place, and that's where actually I started, I was in the dining room. So
we're doing like bussing, cleaning it up, wiping tables.
Became a waiter. Then I managed the floor. Then from there, I went in the kitchen. Started in pizza. Started to learn how to do. Be very. And then from there, I went to cooking. We did a lot of sauteing. Portofino was 85% more restaurant, 15% pizza.
Right.
So they needed me more on the restaurant side than on the pizza in that place. So, that's what I
What was your cousin's name?
We're in Delaware.
Portofino.
Vito Conigliaro. And his son was Frank Conigliaro. So they have pizza shops all over Delaware.
Man, that name. I hate being 58.
I know exactly who he is.
So
I know exactly who
if
it
you
is.
know
What
the
was the
nickname,
name? What was the name of the pizza shop?
What was the nickname?
the nickname will be Vito Nivoro.
So
What's the name of the shop?
I know who works for him.
Well, Vito Pizza, the one that he had was Vito Restaurant.
I would say.
But he had a
know,
bunch of
but
shops in
I have
Delaware,
no
right?
idea.
Yeah, and then you have Frank's Pizza, and then you have Pizza
You're
and
asking
Pasta.
Bruno, he has no idea. He doesn't
Pizza
know
and
where the
pasta.
fuck
Pizza
Pasta,
Allentown is.
right on Route 13.
Type
I think
in
it's
Nick.
still there, actually. His son now has it.
Really?
So
No, I swear to God, like it comes inside my brain. I'm just,
he was very popular. He
yeah. I mean,
went
there's
around.
There's
So after
guys
your
out-
career there, how old are you when you decide to move? After the 11 years
To move
from Portofino.
well, Portofino, pretty much I work all my time with my father.
Yeah.
We were there for 13 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
13 years.
Yeah,
Excuse
13
me.
years. At that time, I started going to college and doing
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things on my own.
Oh, you went to, where'd you go?
Well, I did Salem Community College, and then I
Okay.
went to Rutgers University in Camden.
You went to Rutgers?
So I went to Rutgers. One of the mistakes that I made is I was in my junior year, and I was doing all right, So then I saw this corner lot in Deptford, New Jersey.
Yeah, Deptford. I know exactly
So I
what you're
said
talking about.
I went to my father. I'm like, I think I want to open a restaurant. I was like, "Oh, you nuts?" I said, "You want to get out and now you want to open?" I says, "I saw this good spot." I said, "What about school?" I says, "My heart is not into it." So I went to open
Right.
Cafe Portofino. Cafe Portofino didn't last that long because I still was in the 20s partying.
Yeah.
Doing more than
I had the
anything
same
else.
situations. You want to get in, but you shouldn't have.
Sure enough,
Because we're doing a lot of different things.
So I should have just ended up finishing college. I was going for business administration. I never did, So, and then I went back to work with my father, And that's where pretty much I stayed, all my life, except for 5 years, which I became a sales rep when I came in Northeast PA.
Sales rep for who?
Cisco. That's how I met Antonio.
What, Cisco Harrisburg?
Well, yes, it is Cisco Harrisburg, but I was settled between Azleton and Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah,
That's
but
where I went.
let me ask you a question. Who was the president, vice president then?
Well,
Don Hunt.
Don Hunt was...
And then the vice president of sales was,
You knew me, but there was never competition with me, my friend.
wait, what was the vice president of sales?
the vice
He
president?
drank like a motherfucker.
Fitch?
No.
Finch, yes,
Fitch Stilton.
Finch.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was Finch.
Oh, yeah.
Finch could drink.
There was an Italian guy that worked there, too. What the fuck was his name? He had an Italian...
No,
he didn't speak Italian.
Oh, it's John Azzolini.
That's it.
Oh,
John
he
Azzolini.
still works there.
Yeah, he
I
still
keep
works
hitting
there.
his- I keep
I
hitting his
talked to
arm.
him. I talked to him.
I keep hitting his arm.
I know.
His arm, I keep
Thanks.
banging
You
it,
beat the
banging
shit
it.
out of me. No, back in those days, I was dealing with Cisco at the one restaurant I had. So we used to go on. Remember the trips, the all-ins? Mm-hmm. Yep. Go to Puerto Rico. We go to Quebec. We would go.
Yeah.
It was all over the country. It was all over. And then the next year they came back and said, "Well, you were at 4%. We need you to move up 1 more percent. We need."
How long were you
2%."
there for, Joe?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So then you decided, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go
Well, at that time, my father was still in
Delaware.
in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey, sorry.
New Jersey. So he decided to move in PA. So he actually bought my brother-in-law's place, which was Mimo's Pizza,
Correct.
which actually it's a Pietro Recchia's brother.
Right.
Pizza shop.
You know who opened that? Bonasante.
Bonasante, yep.
Yeah. Nino Bonasante. No. Dominic Bonasante opened that.
Dominic?
Yeah. Mimo.
I just got to say this. Were you working there when we went to Puerto Rico at Cisco?
No.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, my
No,
God.
when I started, those trips were happening, but I was new, so
Oh, so
I
you weren't
never,
getting in?
No, I was getting in on those yet.
Yeah.
Inga Finch and John Azzolini. We drank them. We were having, what's that drink they make with mint?
Tulips?
Oh, mint julep.
No, not mint julep. It's
Oh, the
Mojitos?
mojitos. We drank the hotel out of mint. With Cisco's teeth.
Cisco. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Unreal.
back then they were very strong. Now it's
Yeah,
things
they're
have
a whole
changed.
different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just falling apart.
And anybody I knew is no longer there, other than John Azzolina.
Yeah, he's
and,
the only one.
you know,
He's a good
Yeah.
guy. He's a
Well,
good guy.
listen, we're going to take a quick break. The pizza came out, food came out. We'll talk, eat your pizza. We'll hang out, and then we'll get back
more
to
into
Tomasino's and how you started
and
this
now we
restaurant
start
in
off with
Dallas.
Tomasino's in Dallas.
Yep.
All right?
Right?
All right,
got
guys. PizzaFellas Podcast, episode 73. We'll see you in a bit.
Very good.
Pizza Talk with Sal and Joe, Oliver, Antonio. Pizza stories, they gon' tell us. Let's have some fun with the Pizza Fellas.
We are back. PizzaFellas episode 73. All right, we're back here with Tomasino. That pizza was awesome.
Everything
Very
was great.
good.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you, guys.
Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, very good. The rice
Any
balls were
arboreal
good.
rice bowls?
Very good.
This Sfincione was
I
good.
love it. It's Sfincione. What I said to you, I said,
Look,
this
Lorenzo's still
Sfincione.
eating it.
Yeah.
I see it.
No, it's very good. I
I
got to
figure
say.
bring something
Brought
different,
back memories.
Yeah.
Brought back memories.
So
when
we
did
just
you-
had, what do we,
Go ahead.
so we
What
just
do we have?
had Sfincione.
Spincione,
We had your traditional round.
round. Yep.
We had risotto balls
Risotto balls.
that you make yourself. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
With arboreal.
With arborio rice.
All right.
Yes.
What else did you?
Arboreal and broccoli is in there.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, we started with the meat and cheese, and
Okay.
then we kept changing on a weekly basis, and the broccoli cheese is the one that stuck. So now that one is on our menu, and we sell.
Good.
That's what people like.
And then Joe made meatballs, brajol, and sausage, and
Excellent.
an arrabbiata sauce.
Yeah.
Which
Little
was very
tangy,
very good.
excellent. Yep.
So fast forward, so you leave there, boom, boom, boom. You're a sales rep. That's done. Now you're gonna open Tomasino's.
Tomasino, yeah. Well, Tomasino was open 5 years
Correct.
before I got there because
Right.
my father moved from New Jersey. He wanted to move in PA, so he started that going.
Right.
So while I was,
How did he decide to go up there?
he always, my brother-in-law, Max Amato, he actually has places. He had places in Tancanic and Montrose.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's when my sister, my brother-in-law met actually in Carini, and my sister got married and then moved up here.
Gotcha.
So now my father always said, "Oh, we should move in PA and should move in PA." I says, "I'm not moving in PA."
You were going back to Carini.
Yeah, well, I would. So first of all, I said, "I'm in the middle of the world in South Jersey. 25 minutes, I'm in Philadelphia.
Right.
40 minutes, I'm at the beach."
Right.
I said, "I'm not moving anywhere." So then, after Cafe Portofino, I went to my parents. I said, "Listen, I'm going back to Italy." He says, "What?" I said, "Yeah, it might be a week or two,
Right.
maybe 2-3 months. It might be I never come back." I'm like, "Oh, you're nuts?" I said, "I just want to relive that life."
Right. Right.
So before I went there, I went to see my sister. That my brother-in-law had a place in Tancanic.
Okay.
I went to see
What was the name of it?
original Italian pizza.
Is it still there?
Not in Tancanic. No, there is one in Montrose. That's it, actually, right?
That's his place?
There's a couple, but I don't think.
No, there's
they're
Samario's and
affiliated.
Tuncanic.
Yeah.
Then there's Paisanos, and then there's Antonio's.
And Pompeii.
And Pompeii. That's right. And Antonio's.
Yeah.
So shout out to the 2 out of 3 that buy from me.
Who's that? Samario?
Samario's and Antonio's.
They opened a place in the Honesdale, I saw.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic.
He's doing unbelievable. over there.
Very nice.
I was just on the phone with him a little while ago.
They were on the podcast. Great family.
I saw the
Yeah, yeah.
They're
They're
such
good.
a
They're very good
family.
people.
Good people, man.
Very good people. They're very loyal. They're good people.
They're like us.
They don't
You know,
change. They don't
blue-blooded.
change you for $20. So just the story that you know, Bruno changed me for $20.
What?
All right, let's move on. So let's go back.
Right in the fucking heart. He hit me right here.
So I tell my parents, I'm like, I'm going to go see my sister for 2 weeks, then buy one-way ticket and go to Carini. So
Look at that.
in the meantime, my brother-in-law actually was buying mimos with his brother and another
Look at that.
partner. So while I was there, and the Recchias were very good friends with my wife's family.
Great family.
Great
family.
Very good family.
Actually, Vitangelo was just in Parma, Italy, competing.
Yeah,
He was competing. And I didn't check out how he did, but he did.
That was the first day today.
Yeah. Vitangelo actually was our DJ at the
Our engagement
party.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
That's right. He was a DJ at one time.
He started to mess
Yeah,
around
yeah,
with
yeah.
the music.
Well, Carmine Tester's son, Michael, he was doing it. He was in a pizza throwing contest. I
Right.
posted that. Tremendous young man.
I got to give my hat to Vito. Vito's a
Oh, but Tangelo was unbelievable.
He's-
Yeah,
he's,
I loved it. The whole Pietro, Vito, the whole family.
and shout out to also Angelo. He just opened up Lucas.
Lucas,
Yeah.
Pizza.
he's doing phenomenal.
Yeah, he's doing
Yeah,
great.
he's doing very good.
He's doing very, very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yo,
good
good
people.
people. Good things come to good people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know.
So my brother-in-law buys Mimos, which was Vito's, Pietro's brothers.
Wait, is that the guy that eats the exotic food?
No, that's the other
That's
one.
the other brother?
Yeah.
That's Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Giuseppe,
yeah.
Giuseppe's
Yeah.
a wild man.
The fucking carnivore over there.
He's nuts.
He'll eat a I don't know what he'll eat. He'll eat a mouse in the wall.
So it was around Super Bowl parties. So, went to the Super Bowl, to the Super Bowl party, and there she was.
Your wife, Joanne.
My wife.
Okay.
At that time,
Yeah.
I wasn't interested. I'm going back to Italy.
I don't even think we spoke.
No, I don't think we spoke either. So then on the second, I think it was, what was Vito's house?
Yeah,
At the
Maria
Recchia's
had-
house. We spoke little by little.
What
Then
year is this?
2004.
2004. She's good
wow.
with numbers.
So then you know Pietro Colello as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I know Pietro
Okay.
and the father
Okay.
and the mother.
Right.
Everybody. Yeah.
All right.
So, so
Small fucking world.
Yep.
Yeah.
So instead of going to Italy, I end up getting stuck. Not stuck, settled.
Settled.
In Northeast PA. I never went back to Italy because I started talking to her. We started dating. Things were getting serious.
Right.
Then my father was like, "Thank God, now I'm moving up there." He wanted to move like 10 years ago, But he bought the original Italian pizza from my brother-in-law because the partners were not doing as hot, and he tried to run the place himself. And then things got, his health was declining a little bit. And at that time, I was at Cisco, and I was doing phenomenal there, like really, really good. So then I started helping him on the weekend. Then I started helping him,
At nighttime after you're done, yeah.
It was a long day. So I told her, I said, and I was expecting a different answer because I was out, no pizza shop, nothing. So I said to her, I said, listen, I have it in me to open one more place. I said, my father needs help. What do you think if, we take over the other half? And I thought she was going to say no.
I thought I was going to say no, too, because I grew up in the restaurant, and I saw my parents 7 days a week, 13 hours a day. I was like, I don't want this life. But I had a good job. I was working for the state. So I was like, you know what? We don't have kids. You want to take a chance? Do it. Let's do it.
And I
It'll
went
be
in.
fun.
I never left.
Never left.
Never left.
And
No.
made it happen.
Made it happen. We started as a small pizza shop, where Mimo was. And then we moved in the middle of the shopping center. We doubled the space, and we opened a restaurant. And that's when original Italian pizza became Tomasino's.
Nice. How big?
It's 2,300 square feet.
Oh, it's not a bad size.
No,
Perfect
we went
size.
from 1,100 to
I don't know if I was ever in there. I don't remember if I was.
I'm not sure.
So now you're 2,300 to this day.
Yeah.
And then what do? Yeah, pizza counter, just restaurant. What's the majority of what you serve?
So right now it's 50-50.
Okay.
We have the pizza counter right in the front with the nice display case, and
Gotta have display.
yeah,
That keeps the workers
You have
coming
to.
in, the
You have
cook
to.
eats, whoever wants to come in, they know they can get something to eat now
Right,
within 2 minutes.
So when I took over with my father, I told him, I says, listen, the only way I'm coming in is if we get what we had in New Jersey, which was mainly a restaurant, back. So I said, well, you're nuts. I said, let's make it easy. Just pizza, sandwiches. I'm like, I like dinners. I like to saute and everything else.
Right.
So that's when we opened Tomasino, we pushed all the dinner. So now it's 50-50. So we sell a lot of seafood, veal, a lot of good products.
Yes.
Well, you do. So he does something that really nobody really does, Joe. Right? So he does pasta tavola.
Pasta tavola.
What is that?
So pasta tavola basically is the table. Tavola means table. Pasta's pasta, right?
Yeah.
So he brings you the pasta, not on a dish. He
On the
puts it
board?
on the table.
On the
Like
board.
in Carini.
Yeah.
That's an old school thing. So the pasta comes on, and then everybody at the table eats it. It's
When I was
it's
in
very
Carini, we did
peasant.
it.
It's a very peasant
Eggplant
way of
on
doing
top,
it.
Yes.
basil on top.
So
They don't have any.
Nice
It's
fresh
funny.
eggplant.
The way I compared it, it's like
It's a board.
It's like Syrian.
Like a wooden board.
It's a
They put it right on top.
steaks, And then the steaks, we just put all on the board. And then we slice them, and we all just dip salt,
Dip it.
pepper.
He does that,
and
but he doesn't have. He
we
doesn't
all
have.
share. No one has a plate.
He doesn't have plates.
We have pita bread, and that's it. Garlic oil, and that's
kidding.
it. Everyone's dipping in the ovens. That's pretty cool.
No, it's a good.
I like that.
What kind of pasta? Pasta of choice?
So we started with just spaghetti meatballs.
Okay.
Now we do.
Holy shit, you put meat on it too.
Yeah,
Not
meat.
just pasta. Okay.
So now we do penna alla vacca. We do
You
meat
do?
sauce. Yeah. Now if they want chicken, we put chicken.
Nice.
So,
You understand what he
let's
does,
grow.
Bruno? So he
Let's grow.
takes, he cooks it, then he brings it to the table
with the pot.
with the pot, and he pours it on the table. Well, on a board.
So when you do this, like in
Actually,
Carini,
no.
when you
Actually,
do this,
he
they
puts
put the
out a-
boards out on the table.
Right.
And then they come with the pasta. Pasta's drained. They start putting it down. Then they come
The
with the
what, bro?
sauce. You start putting the sauce
Like a
on.
polenta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
But-
It's a great meal, and everybody eats from the
You do
same
it on a
thing.
tablecloth, Joe, or no?
No, it's a wax paper. We have to be
Okay.
as sanitary as possible.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
it's
But in Carini, we do it on a board.
on a wooden board.
On a
yeah.
wooden board.
So what's the reaction? What do people think?
Phenomenal.
No, I know we know that, but the customers.
The kids love it. They love it that they get to eat from the table. They love it that sometimes they don't even pick up the fork. They just grab the pasta
And start eating.
They're messy.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
Looking to take your brand to the next level? The PizzaFellas Podcast rely on RyanStarkMedia, specializing in creating bold, impactful content that tells your story and captures your audience. From stunning visuals to cutting-edge strategies, Ryan Stark delivers results that stand out in today's competitive market. Let Ryan Stark Media bring your vision to life. Need supplies for your business? Check out Master Supply Line, a family-owned and operated janitorial, food service, and office supplier located in McCunchy, Pennsylvania. Free local delivery with no minimums. Never any contracts or membership fees. Competitive pricing on tens of thousands of items. 90% of all customers' orders are delivered the next day. Shop in store, online, mastersupplyline.com. That's mastersupplyonline.com. Or give them a call at 610-966-9636.
Now, what do you charge, if you don't mind me asking, for one of
So
those?
it's $20 a person. It's very inexpensive. Very, and plus
It's
the
not
drink.
bad.
No, it's very, minimal you have to get to, and such and such. So,
What's the minimum people in that?
well, 2 people.
Oh, 2 people?
Two
could do it?
people that can. Yeah.
Oh, you could do it for 2 people.
Yeah,
But you give them a good amount of food.
Yeah. We bring 2 pots, enough for 2 people. Spaghetti, we put the sauce, the meatballs, Romano cheese, if they want basil, and that's how I go. So last time I did that on my own, I was 7 years old with my grandparents. All right, so that's usually done August, September. When you start canning tomatoes and everything else, you invite everybody in.
Right.
Yeah, that's
in
when we
Campania.
were in Sicily in August, and we did it.
And I think there was a reason because we don't have enough plates for everybody. So, but it's awesome. They make fresh pasta.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might be 2-3 days just there, sleeping, playing games.
Right.
It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, Aunt Rosalie and Aunt Rose, they made fresh pasta.
Yep. I had
They made
a
the fresh
great
pasta?
childhood in Italy. Carini, I can't forget. It's,
No.
Listen,
It's
I was there
beautiful.
6 months of my life, and I'm telling you stories.
Yep.
Look, it hasn't left me.
So
You brought back so much to my brain, and
That's
then when we
awesome.
talk about that,
Right.
it's like you lit up this section of my brain is now like tick, tick, tick. I haven't used it in years.
So this idea came up a year ago. It was Kay or how came up?
I think I said to you.
You said something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was like, we have so many good family recipes
Right,
between
right.
both of us. I was like, and you're as authentic as it gets.
Right,
All
right.
the
Yeah.
restaurants by us, they're all American, all the
Right, right, right.
pizzerias.
So it took me a year because I'm like, I don't know
like,
how
just
they're
do
gonna buy
something
it.
fun.
Or how they're gonna react because
Well, if you believe in your product, you shouldn't have a
Yeah.
problem, right?
right on the table, no plates, no nothing. I'm like, but
I'll
you
be
know what?
honest with you. I would say I know a tremendous amount of people in this business, as you do, from our conversation. Nobody. They do chef tables, but that's a whole different experience. With you.
Correct.
That's a whole different.
You're BYOB, Joe?
BYOB.
The best. The
So-
best.
And you're 6 or
That's
7
I'm
days.
BYOB.
We're 5 days. Actually, after COVID, we shut down Sunday, Monday,
And you're still shut down.
and we shut down still. Yeah, we're making it work 5 days a week.
Okay.
So my Monday is pretty much my office. I do my orders and everything else, and then 4 o'clock I go home. So I said to myself, if I can make it last this way and be with my family more,
You're good.
You're good.
You're good.
Yeah, could I make a couple extra dollars
For what?
Monday?
For
And
what?
then what?
For what?
Well, you change the way you staff and you change the way you do things, and then you make it work. You make it work. I mean, the biggest thing is if you have 5 days a week, I have to say to myself, you have employees then doing 4 and 3 days. Mm-hmm. You don't have 5 day a week people, because that's the way it has to work. Because where you're going to benefit is from the cut in the payroll.
Sometimes in life, it's not the $1,000 that you bring home extra. Sometimes it's your sanity.
I agree.
And
Quality
you've
of
been in the
life.
business so many years. He's been in the business so many years. This guy's been this guy.
Yeah, but the good thing for him is he's worked in many diverse areas.
Correct.
And then you have food service, because I have food service too. I spent 3 years. in
3
it.
years.
Yeah, and I was phenomenal. Right? Right about
You were, Joe.
The legend.
Well, when I start full service, they put you with the senior sales.
Yeah.
And I told one of my senior friends, I'm like, listen, I says, I'm not sure if this is for me. I said, why you don't think it's for you? I said, I never sold anything. I said, that's a lie. I said, when you were on that counter selling that slice, I said, it's the same exact thing. You're selling a great product to great people. They believe in you, and that's what you got to do.
You hear this, Lorray?
Don't make it harder.
Take some notes.
And, that moment, I'm like, you know what? He's right.
Well, Lorenzo, you're here. Okay, so you were my salesman with the one company. So you just started out, you sold the pizza shop. So do you remember the conversation I had with you? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. What I told you to do is plan out your 40-hour week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And whoever you see, go to see 10 people on Monday, 10 people on Tuesday, 10 people on Wednesday, 10 people on Thursday, 10 people on Friday if you're not at the warehouse. And then you repeat it the next week. Start to get special sheets, make something, whatever you got to do, go in there and make sure you have a path to sales and you follow it week in and week out, and your customers are going to come. Forget about what was given to you. Find out a way to grow.
Right.
And I taught at least 3 dozen salesmen over my 3-year course. Ralph would put them with me, and I'd say, guys, this is what you have to do. This is how you're going to grow. If you want to hear, you go in your territory, see. And if I had a guy one time, me and Ernie, God rest his soul, Ernie Caruto. We walk in, put the Roma cards out, and he curses us out. Like it was like the last stop of the day, down by Lansdale. Get out, this and that, ba ba beep, ba ba boo. So I turned around, I look at Ernie, and I got a smile. I was like, wow, you don't like us, huh? All right, well, can I have a large pizza and give me a cheesesteak and an Italian hoagie to go? And the guy's demeanor went from, you ordering? I was like, I'm going home after this. I got to feed my family. You're not going to sell to me? Do you know what that mother effer did? He sold to me. And that's how you
Gotta find
that's how you
what clicks.
You gotta find what way to turn the guy's soul around. You're throwing me out, but you're taking my money.
Yep.
That's being in sales. That's the way you do it. No different than a pizza
So what's
shop.
your forte in there? Like, what is the dish that people, when they sit down, they're like, we're going to go to Tomasino's for this dish, or the 2 dishes, or...
So it's funny that you say that because, the usual, the penala vaca is
Right.
the biggest seller. The chicken parm is the biggest seller.
Yeah,
it's
everywhere.
one on
Chicken
everywhere
parm. Yeah,
else.
everybody wants it.
But we're getting into so much seafood.
You are.
Oh, it's insane. Broiled seafood platters. Now, fried seafood platters that we make it to order.
Right.
Beer battered. You want it? We make it to order. And you get a big piece, with French fries and everything else. And it's fresh.
Right.
Yeah.
As fresh,
As fresh as it could be.
as it can be in this area.
Right.
But great products. A lot of seafood. That's becoming our big thing.
Good.
No.
So if you're known for that,
Are
right?
you doing anything with lobster and stuff like that?
Lobster, no. When everything went up more than 22, 23 dollars a pound, I stopped because I had a lobster pick pack.
What's that?
So lobster pick pack, it's picco pacchio, which is the Napoletano.
Oh, picco
Picco
pacchio.
pacchio, which is a fresh tomato, white
Right.
wine, Romano cheese. So I had lobster and crab. It was back
Oh,
then.
crab you can't even touch.
Yeah,
It's
So back then, it was $24-$25. Then crab went up.
well, nuts.
Lobster went up.
I don't know
took
how
it off
guys
the
are
menu.
serving it. Yeah,
Yeah, I took it off the menu.
it's still expensive.
So
How
Joe,
are you putting on there?
So are you gonna? Is this where you're gonna be, or do you want to expand more? Do you want to open up another place, or you have a smirk because it looks like you want to?
I would love to, to expand. I had a couple offers to take over other restaurants and everything else.
Okay.
But no. I had a lady from Kingston actually came 2 weeks ago. She says, I'm going to build this place for you. I says, everything you need. I says, I want you here. So I said, listen, I would love to do that. I really would. I said, I don't have enough people for the first, place. I says, I don't want to spread myself too thin.
Correct.
Right now, I have something good going on. Could I use 2 more employees? Yeah, but we're fine.
How many employees you have right now?
20.
So you have 20 employees.
20 employees.
And you're still down 2 or 3?
We're down 2 or 3.
Are you delivering or no?
No, we use DoorDash. We actually, 2-3 months before COVID, I introduced DoorDash. My cousins always said to me, because all of her cousins are in the pizza shop in New York, in Delaware, everywhere.
Right.
I'm like, put delivery. So I'm like, I don't want to deal with the delivery drivers. I don't want to deal with insurance and everything else. So then this DoorDash came up. And lucky for me, it was 2 months prior to COVID.
Right.
And it was doing okay. Then COVID hit, and DoorDash went insane.
How was COVID for you?
Awesome.
Us too.
Yeah, it really.
First week, second week, I was like,
First, second week, you were wondering. And then, once you figured it out, boom.
Yeah, he was like, if I could run a restaurant just on takeout, I would do it in a heartbeat.
She's right.
yeah. I wish those, not COVID, but those time came back.
Oh,
for
that
us.
time.
It
People were so
good for
nice.
us. Selling gift cards left and
Yeah.
right. It was insane.
And the factories calling up for large orders and stuff like that, and just getting like orders. You say, whoa, unbelievable. You have kids?
We have 4 kids.
Are they any of them in the business, or are they too young?
They're young. We got Sophia, she's 14. Giuseppe, we call her Jojo, 13. He'll be 13. And then,
Twin boys.
I don't know where, twin boys.
Wow.
I don't know.
Awesome.
And the twin boy is going to be 9 in July.
July.
July 11th.
So you're busy family.
Very, very busy.
Blessed.
Split with sports and,
Yes,
But we make
yeah.
it work,
That's good, though.
You know.
That's good that you have them doing all that,
Oh, definitely.
They help us.
Yeah.
They come in, they bus. Sophia's the counter girl for Super Bowl Sunday, the
Nice.
only Sunday we're open. So it's
She makes
So Joanne, what's
killing.
your placement in there? What do you? So you're like the
So-
the sweeper. Like if he falls, you're like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I mean by sweeper?
yeah. When he calls in for reinforcements,
Correct.
it's me. It's like, this one's off. Can you come in?
You got to come in.
I don't.
Super Bowl, you're working.
Before, when we first had the kids, I left my career to help him and to raise.
What
the
did you do?
family. I was an investigator for the Commonwealth, so I investigated welfare fraud.
Wow, very nice for you.
So I did that for 10 years.
You must have seen a lot of crazy shit there.
Yeah, but it's boring too. It's a lot of paperwork, but it was fun. I got to travel the state, made a lot of connections. Then we had Sophia, and I was going to go back, and I couldn't. I just couldn't leave her. And then 9 months later, I found out I was pregnant with my son. So I was like, that's it. I'm just staying home with the kids. And I helped him as much as possible. At that time, we had the Mimos. We had taken over Mimos, and we were just helping his dad as much as we could. We were both working full time, and then when we had the kids, he was working with his father primarily, and I was filling in whenever I could.
So, since we have you here, my wife was on the show, and we had Bruno's wife on the show.
I love that episode.
I made her watch it.
Yeah.
Let me explain something to you. For your clientele, who I'm sure they're going to watch this, how about the sacrifices we make as families?
Yeah.
How about the moments, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Tell us about something.
That's why I said when he asked, can we go into partnership with my father? I'm shocked as hell that I even said yes, because I saw the sacrifice my parents went through, and I never wanted that life. I wanted the 9 to 5, husband and wife to be home. We have our weekends free. So many parties. My mom and I, we would go to alone weddings. My dad
Sure.
would have to run the restaurant.
Sure.
And that happened to us quite a few times.
Oh.
Now
I miss
think-
funerals.
Yeah, it's
I miss
crazy.
funerals.
I think now I'm settling in with our life a little bit more. In the beginning, when the kids were smaller, I hated it. I was like, you got to get out. Like, I know Cisco was rough, but this is another ball game. It's,
Sure.
Well,
But-
listen, when I got out of the business and I went to work for Roma, then I was in a position where I was getting a nice promotion. And I just wanted to know, listen, I barely graduated high school. I mean, my father came in to beat the shit out of me in the freaking disciplinary's office. he came in with the checkered pants on a Friday, and I got a good beating because it's a Friday and he's coming in. I wasn't a school guy. So when I'm in the pizza business and then I get out and all of a sudden I get the phone call, are you interested in a job? I was like, yeah, I'll come down. I was like, this is a perfect fit. I did very good, and then this promotion came. I got called up. You should look into doing this. So I says, all right, let me go interview. So I went and interviewed, and long story short, I got it. When I got it, I looked at the letter. I was like, wow, this is something nice. I'm not going to talk about numbers, but it was really nice. I went up to her. I says, I'm going to give my notice at Roma. Because she knew I was going for this. I'm buying a pizza shop. I'm buying where I was at. She was...
Yeah.
You're out. And I says, I can't do it no more. I says, I got to be my own person.
Even
I got to
me.
make this happen.
Now I work full-time as an auditor. There's no socialization. I sit in a cubicle all day long. I do it because we need the health insurance.
What are you ordering?
Insurance.
Isn't that ironic?
Workers'
Doing
comp
it for the
insurance,
health
believe it or
insurance,
not.
but
Yeah.
you're auditing insurance.
But I miss that interaction. It's just in us. Like, to deal with people, to have that connection. It's exciting when my kids' friends are like, oh, we stopped by, we got the pizza, we got the risotto balls, He's having an Easter brunch this Saturday, and my twins' friends' parents are like, are the boys going to be there? It's just
all the time
exciting.
they
Now it's
ask.
like a community thing. I mean, I still hate it. I hate that he's gone 13 hours a day, and I run with 4 kids.
It got better.
It did.
It got better.
It's a lot easier. But
easier, I'm there 70-80% of the time for the sports and everything else.
Yeah.
We had a wedding in Texas Saturday, and we were able to go. But it's up and down. Sometimes
That's
Sure.
what it is.
You
You,
just get
you don't
stuck,
know what's going to
sometimes you
happen. Sometimes you're stuck. You got to, I say to my wife all the time, it's like, I hate to say that I'm going to do something. Because the moment I say that I'm going to do something, all of a sudden something happens at the shop.
Yeah.
Right, Gigi? I mean, I hate to tell people we're going away, but fortunately I have my son. I have my other son Dante's doing a lot better. He's stepping up, came back in. My son-in-law is there. But, I mean, my son, Sal, he, picks up the thing. He's like...
takes a village.
He-
It really does.
Well, he does the job of 4.
Yeah.
He does the job of 4. I mean, from expediter, counter, pizza, oven, I mean, he's running around, and then at this point in time where I am, 2025, Antonio, you could say, I have taken a step back.
Yes, you have.
I have, because I trust in my family, and what's going on.
No, you trusted yourself too.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to give your pat on the back as well. Like, you know what? I got to take the step. And,
Gotta stop pushing our limits.
Yeah.
Like I said, the very first episode I saw her was the wife's episode. So I said, listen, these guys are awesome, and you're going to connect with this episode. And Gigi was talking, and whatever happened to you, I was like, it's like us.
Oh, listen, I was in the
know,
hospital. I
smart.
died in the hospital.
Yeah.
And my son didn't even make pizza. He learned how to make pizza while I'm in the
Yeah.
hospital.
But you're right. No, that episode, that's actually a good point. Every small, business owner like yourself and us, if you want to get into the PizzaFellas podcast for your wife, that's the episode to start it out. She'd be like, why are you listening to these
Joanne,
fucking guys?
She has a bag of cash. She comes into the hospital. The doctors walk in. I got cash all over, the table. And I look at them like, get the fuck out of here. And they're like, what? I said, I'm taking care of business. She's over there. What do you got to do? Got to do this for him. Got to do this for him. But it was the craziest moment in our lives. And then a couple days later, I remember waking up. It was a Friday morning. And I said to the doctor, I'm leaving today. I'm done. I'm out of here. The guy's like, what are you fucking talking about? I was just, I'm going to disconnect myself and walk. If I got to walk out of here with my nude ass, I'm out of here. My wife's picking me up at 3 o'clock today with a Dunkin' Donuts coffee and 2 glazed donuts. Says, and that we had the Volkswagen Passat. Remember? I swear to God.
You got to break away from the business. You have to. The business is going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's not you. People say businesses don't control people. They do.
They do.
They do. You do it 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 6 days. Okay, that's great. So the money is overpowering you because you have to. Now you have shit to pay. I get that. But instead of 100% of the time being there, and if you do have the proper help, he's got Sal. Thank God for Sal, right? Yeah, he can move away 10, 20% of the time. And vice versa. Sal can do the same thing,
Yeah.
which coincides, which is a great thing. You know what I mean?
You know, the one thing I always say to people, you know, and I guessed off camera that have come on here with families and stuff. You know, I said to them, because they've talked on camera about disagreements, they have this and that. You know, the one thing you can never have is in front of your staff, show non-allegiance. You gotta, everybody's got, so if you have an issue, you gotta walk up, say, let's go out back. Yeah. And then if somebody's coming in, say, just go inside. Nobody needs to know
Right.
how it's settled, how it's discussed, what's conversated. We've had more meetings out back, probably 1,000.
Yeah.
And nothing bad from it, just you're clearing the air and making things the way they should be. So
Right.
your staff, your business and everything. But a lot of guys don't understand that. You know, you can't be bullhead. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I learned that. So my father and me, you know, it would always be that Sicilian, old school. You know, I mean, my father one time dropped a Sicilian on my back. And then broke a peel on me. And yelling and screaming. My Uncle Rocky saved my ass. God rest my Uncle Rocky's soul. God rest my father's soul. I mean, and then you got it back on the table. You can't do shit like that. You just, and you got to change.
It's a different way of thinking.
Yes.
You know, my father and I, we all worked all
Together.
our life together. All right. But like you said, he has the Sicilian thinking. And here I am more, you know, reasoning and everything else. You know, him, if there was an issue, get out of here and such and such.
Salami.
Here I am, salami, whatever.
Big salami. Oh, you big salami.
So I'm like, let's assess the situation. I said, you know, what's going on? What was going to happen? And this and that. So I rethink in different ways. You know, definitely I'm active.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to let it go. But it's different way that, you know, we deal now.
I mean, I'm different. Listen, I started this business 52 years. How I was years ago, even at Piaggio, and how I am now, it's like, I don't want to have to yell.
Yeah.
And I think people, what we've come to understand in our conversation between the two of us is if you speak to people, explain what the problem is, they hear you.
Yeah.
If you start off the conversation with, listen, what the hell are you doing? Why the hell did this shit happen? You know what they hear? What are you doing? Why did this shit happen? And all the correction that's involved, they don't hear you.
And I think for his dad, he had the language barrier too. So it's like whatever 5 words he knew, which was never good.
Listen, when my
at you.
father was in front of English people like that didn't speak Italian, he was quiet. I spoke on his behalf. When he was in front of Italians, you couldn't shut him up. He would speak like no tomorrow, but he was comfortable in that. You know, the 6 months I had with him in Sicily was I met a man that's no different from my son, no different. Like, he was unbelievable. You know, just let's have this good time. Let's go here. Let's go buy fish. Let's go in the ocean. Let's go this place. Let's go to Termini. Let's go to Argento. You know, I can remember we went to Argento. No, Argento, the Salt Town.
The Salt Town, it's...
No, Cattolica.
Cattolica?
Cattolica, it was on a hill, right?
Cattolica, it's on the hill. The Salt Town is Trapani.
Trapani, but we stayed that night at Cattolica.
At Cattolica.
All right, so Vince had some friends there. So the guys, we slept in the living room area. You know, they brought out like mats or whatever. You slept on those thin mats, but they had them. So next thing you know, somebody, the whole room, it started. The whole room. That's us. Yeah. And I remember being like that. Everybody's like just laughing because everybody's ripping gas from the. But it's a crazy thing. And the cars are going by in the street, the Vespas or the motorcycle. Oh my God, that was a great experience. It was. It's amazing the stuff you brought out of my brain just thinking about there.
Well, did you ever live the mornings there when you got the bread guy? Bunny, and then fruit.
The fruit comes by with the 3-wheel cart.
But then you got the plastic guy with all the Rubbermaid containers hanging on the thing. Oh, we got plastic.
But it's amazing. That's a business there.
That's a business.
Big.
They're coming to the houses and selling it. You know, it's. I remember we went to get the how do you refer to it? Abu Snails?
Babalucha.
Babalucha. Yeah, Babalucha. So I get up. All of a sudden, my father wakes me up, and it's like not even. I don't know what it is. It's still cool out. They throw me a canvas sack. What are they doing? We're going to get the snails. You know, we go out. They're all up the wall.
Yeah.
You walk around the walls, boom, and I filled up the sack.
Yep. I've never
then-
been to that, but I know.
We ate it that afternoon.
Where did Nonna get them from? When we had
Well,
Baba
usually
Lucia?
they buy them, but you see them in the mountains at nighttime with all the flash, with the
Lanterns.
lanterns.
Yeah.
You have the Montagna Colubrino, the Montagna Longa, and at nighttime in the summertime, it's like the mountains light up. I'm like, oh, there's 5 over there, there's 4 over there.
Yeah.
And then they actually
Well, when
sell
we went
them.
around, it's amazing though how much was on there. And we went around that whole farm and just put them in. And it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then when we ate them, take the toothpick,
Toothpick.
and like chicken. It
Yeah.
was absolutely delicious.
The first time we stayed for a few weeks in Garini, we had our daughter. She was 9 months old. So in Mola, the streets are very narrow and everything is flat. So the trucks, when they drive by, they don't yell. Everybody knows that they're there. In Garini, where his grandmother's house was, it was, like 30-some steps?
Yeah,
It was all row houses. So it was 30-some steps to go up to the house, or if you park at the top of the street, 30-some down. So the trucks would drive on those side streets. So it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and Osama bin Laden had just been captured.
Oh, wow.
And I hear, patate, chipotle. I had no idea what anybody was saying. I was like, Joe, the Taliban is here. What's happening? He's like, no, they're just selling potatoes and chipotle. He's like, don't worry about it.
Chipotle onions.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the craziest things for me was when we were on the farm, like out in the, how do you refer? Campagna or something?
Campagna, yeah.
Campagna.
Oh, the water.
So we're on the farm, and these are the farms where my father was born. His brothers were born there. So they had a toilet,
Which one are you drinking?
but the toilet had no seat. And there was no running water. You had to take a bucket.
Oh, the bucket. Yes, I
all right?
remember.
And you'd have to. So my dad says to me, he goes, go to the lemon tree. So he takes me out to the lemon tree, and he showed me, go, this is a good tree. You climb, you're going to sit, and then you use the leaves. I was like, what? I learned so much there.
Yep.
And I'll never forget my Uncle Philip, we were eating chicken. So he had live chickens. So he said, tells me to come with him. My God.
Was it slaughterhouse?
What the? I seen that happen. I was like, oh. He's like, no, stay. He could speak some English. He was telling me, stay. I'm like, boom again. And then we ate it that night. And then my Uncle John was with the rabbits. So if you wanted rabbits, you went there.
Grilling.
Yeah, I learned some unbelievable. Yep. And then the dogs eat the pasta, whatever you don't eat. It was amazing. Sicily's great, man.
It is.
Listen, we all grew up with great people, and we learned some phenomenal things, huh?
Yeah.
So, Tomasino, what do you have to say? If you're going to tell somebody today, going in the pizza business,
What are you
how
gonna
should
say?
they look at it? What advice are you going to give for some people out there that, of course, you're going to watch? And we got some great pizza fellas, pizzaiolos across the country and the world that are following. You know, you're a man that certainly knows what he's doing.
Well, through the years, I learned a lot because, anything, you get what you put in. All right?
Yes.
If you're going to open a pizza shop and you want to be the owner, the big shot with the BMW or a Lamborghini, it's not going to happen, especially now.
Right.
Maybe 30 years ago, yes. But if you have the passion of making food, not only that, I said, because that doesn't take you, that doesn't keep your place open either, but you have to have passion for the people, to manage things, to run, to juggle 1,000 balls around, then the place is for you.
Correct.
It's a multitask restaurant. It's thinking, marketing. So you feel like it, do it. But don't think it's going
It's
to
not
be a
easy.
piece of
Money.
cake,
No.
especially
it's not.
now.
not
My
easy.
my
A lot of
fa-
devotion. A lot of
Devotion, yeah. My father looks at me sometime. I'm in the office for a few hours. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I said, Dad, I says, Facebook, Instagram. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
You have to.
Make sure all the papers are in order. Set up, these
Payroll.
new events.
Schedules.
Because anymore, you can't just sell pizza.
No.
No.
We have this Saturday. We have this bunny brunch for the kids. So we close in the dining room on Saturday morning. We're gonna
Okay.
create a nice buffet.
Nice.
And we went to talk to everybody in the shopping center. I'm like, listen, what do you guys think if I let the kids, come from store to store? You can advertise your store, put a business card, and you guys give out eggs. And they're like, that's an awesome idea.
That's a great idea.
So
Really smart idea. Very good.
out of 20 stores, 15 are participating. The other 5 are corporations saying, oh, they can't. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Pangul.
But Saturday they're gonna have brunch at our place. Everybody's gonna get a tag, and they're gonna have a little map. Go to UPS, which actually they're participating. Go to the bagel store, and they get eggs.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And the kids love it.
That's
It
really
brings
nice.
people in.
And
Sure.
it brings people in. That's a smart idea.
Also, marketing, man. It's a different deal.
Yeah.
Newspaper doesn't work.
No.
Phone book is out.
No,
it's
Yeah.
Facebook. No, it's Instagram.
It's all
Facebook,
social media.
TikTok.
social media, and my biggest thing is fundraisers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figure I give back to Dallas school. We're surrounded by Lake Lehman School District, which is where my kids go, which is 3 miles away, and then Dallas School, which is half a mile away. 2 great schools, big schools. So I try to get involved as much as I can. There's a football season. I got you first pasta dinner. I take care of it.
Sure.
You're
We do the
serious?
same
It's
thing.
80 people. I'm like, I don't care. It's for the kids. That's all.
Right.
And I do that for
Right now,
me.
we got guys on strike, and we send them food.
Yeah.
I don't even announce that though. But those guys, how many have come in? So, huh?
A lot.
It's
Shit ton.
unreal. And listen, they're coming in. They're thanking me. No, I have no problem. I'll send you penny. I'll send you pizzas. I'll send you, chicken, whatever you want. You guys aren't working. All right, it's not even something that I'm not speaking about on social media.
Right.
But they are.
Yeah.
They're going online and they keep telling me we're going. I was like, well, thank you very much. I'm not doing it for that. I'm just doing it because I'm a blue collar guy.
Yeah. Those people will take care of you. They come back. They'll defend you.
Correct.
Yes.
If somebody has an issue, somebody has a bad day, I'm like, Tomasino, this.
Every strike that I've seen around us, I've sent food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them.
smart.
I didn't even know him when I found out. The one guy came in and he was like,
We did it for Mack Trucks. Yeah.
yeah, we did for Mac many times.
Yeah, you got to be involved in your community a lot. So that's definitely good. But again, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for
It's a
having
pleasure
us.
to
Great,
meeting
Joe.
you
Great
guys.
story.
Yeah,
Conversation,
really nice.
man.
Thank you.
I swear to God.
You guys have a great thing going, so good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
prosper.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate you guys taking the hour and 20 minutes to come down here.
Definitely.
Thanks for
Honest to
having us.
God. Much respect. And the food was absolutely delicious.
It was.
Yes,
Pizza's
it
great.
was. It was very good.
Very, very
Well,
good.
it's Tomasino's again in Dallas, Pennsylvania. Where did I write this?
Sorry, 54 Dallas
I
Shopping
got it.
Center.
I got it.
Ando.
Tomasino's 54 Dallas Shopping Center, 309 Dallas, 20 years. MyTomasino.com. Thank you again to Joe Tomasino and Joanne Tomasino.
And check them out on Instagram,
You're on
Facebook,
Instagram, yeah?
TikTok.
Not yet. No.
We just started.
You started?
Yeah,
It's pretty
TikTok's.
wild.
We still haven't.
It's pretty
We
wild.
still haven't.
Yeah, like I just got a thing today talking about how to make more revenue, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing to make more revenue?
You got to get Sophie and Jojo on that. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
maybe
Yeah.
my kids have an easier way.
It's a whole different way.
Well, thank you again.
Thank
Yes.
you. Appreciate it.
Much appreciated. And
All right. Well, that's it. Well, guys, remember, go on Spotify, YouTube, subscribe. PizzaFellas Podcast, episode 73. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
PizzaFellas Podcast right here, the hottest in the world.
It's a PizzaFellas Podcast. Turn your speakers up, we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass. Light a cigar, come on, let's make it last. Pizza Talk with Sal and Joe, Oliver, Antonio. Pizza stories, they gon' tell us. Let's have some fun with the Pizza Fellas.
PizzaFellas Podcast right here, the hottest in the world. How's fire?